Hello everybody, welcome back to Casual Gamer Odds as we now move into our final season, wow, F1 2017 Career Mode, Season 10, Round 1, we're in Australia, let's do this. Our last ever qualifying session here at Albert Park, we have never, ever gotten pole position here. There's a little bit of a tip for you there, well not a tip, more so a fact for you. And can this be our very first pole position in our very last attempt at our home Grand Prix? We have of course won this race before. It's just been a matter of we've never sadly qualified in pole position, and I feel as though we're not going to achieve that here after making that bit of a mistake there. Massa at the moment in pole position. Maybe we can see a surprise pole position if it's not us. We know that the Williams is technically the second fastest car behind. I think they've even leapfrogged us, I think, overall in terms of the grand scheme of packages. Actually, I don't think they have. I think they are third overall, just behind us and Mercedes. Sorry, Red Bull. Is Red Bull the #1 car on this grid? And they are technically the world champions as well. Ricciardo, the reigning world champion, and also the reigning constructors champions, after we sort of gave them a bit of a help towards the end of the season there last year, of course. Now, we're aiming this year, in our last year, I want to win every single Grand Prix, folks. And if we can get to Monaco, and we win the first 5, I'm going to maybe rig it slightly, so that we can win it. Now, we're going to get pole here for our very first time in Australia. Can we ever get pole? We do, yes! Jeffrey has nothing to say about that. That is our 40th career pole position. And it's an all-Australian front row. Look how close that qualifying is at the top there of the field, actually. That's pretty impressive. 3/10 separate the top 7th. That's the closest I've ever seen it. And Massa up there very well. So let's do this. The last 2 world champions. And we have an all Aussie front row in Australia. That is a first. First pole here in the last race. And of course, last season we struggled a little bit. We were chasing down Seb Vettel, but took ourselves out, of course, into the last turn. So, yeah, if we go into Monaco and we find ourselves having won the opening 5 Grand Prix, I'm going to rig it so that we can win Monaco like we did a few seasons ago. Just have to say that I will be doing that. So, oh, it looks like we have a wet race too. Oh, this will make it a little bit tricky-dicky. Alrighty. Let's see how this plays out. I don't think we've had a wet Australian Grand Prix before, have we? I can't remember. But we're not going to take each other out to first turn, of course. Well, I didn't say of course like it's a surefire thing. This is me we're talking about here. As we find ourselves waiting and waiting and waiting. And waiting, there we go. Alrighty. Wet Australia. All Aussie front row. We've only won this Grand Prix once. That was back in Season 8 for Ferrari. Our last ever Australian Grand Prix. It's been a fun ride, our home race, and we're about to say goodbye to it. Alrighty. How's our fuel mix? It's decent. Our last season is go. We get a fairly okay start. Ricciardo will take the lead, although Vettel will get an even better lead. So we go into turn 1 here. We're going to run ourselves off the circuit. Hold on to it there. Verstappen's got a good start. Traction not good at all. And that is a pretty poor start for us there. We can put one up. Verstappen, oh no, we're going to clip the front wing and get damage on that. It's only yellow. Hopefully we won't get a penalty for that. It's only minor damage. That's alright. Still a colour damage, which, you know, isn't as obviously desirable as any damage. But we'll see if that will hamper our efforts in chasing down our fellow countrymen. And that is not the start that we wanted. Car's feeling okay, but I think it was Grand Prix wasn't last year. US, where we started off okay. And then it really kind of came to us throughout it. And that was Malaysia, that Grand Prix, actually, I remember. In terms of the fact that the damage didn't feel that bad at the beginning, but then later on it did. So, right now it's feeling fairly okay. And hopefully we can maintain this level of consistency with it and it doesn't get too much worse for our handling as we hang on to the back here of Danny Rick. Similar to what happened last year in terms of hanging on to the back of Vettel until we binned it in this corner, of course. We'll just put ourselves up into rich mode just for a little bit. Ricardo goes fastest. Given that he's leading, that is to be expected. At least Australia's getting what they want in terms of an Aussie 1-2. Just not the Aussie 1-2 that I would want. And our goal to win every Grand Prix in our final season is going to hell in a high basket here, particularly when we run ourselves off the circuit. Oh no! And what did I say about making things worse? Shit. And we have dropped all the way down to 13th, and we have no front wing at all now. Yep, we're rooted. The Aussie 1-2 will not happen, and we're not even going to get points. And look, there is no point in pitting because, well, we're just going to have to limp around here because we really are struggling. Just have a bit of a race on our own here. It's our last ever home Grand Prix. It's interesting actually, when you start the season it comes up with a message saying it's your last season. And it's like, well, okay, so we're not actually deciding to retire. You're basically just forcing us out. So, I find that quite fascinating. Oh, dogged car right now. And that was purely my mistake. And once again, I put my foot in it. But unlike last year, I'm not going to give up. Still want to win the World Championship in my final year. It'd be a perfect way to go out. Worst case scenario, they can fire us mid-season. But we want to finish our career in this red car. And we're just going to limp around here. Just to try our best with it all. Pascal Wehrlein, meanwhile, a little bit racy behind us. We're going to catch anyone at this range just the way we're steering. We just can't steer this car. We have no front wing. But of course, if we go backwards, we're definitely going to be dead last. Although there is a car in the pits right now, so yeah, not sure who that is. It's whoever I probably came on the circuit and took out as I went along. Complete apologies to whoever that was. Whoa, 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 whoa. I lose myself there. Whoa, Van Dorn. Whoa, Kvyat. Whoa, get out of it, Kvyat. I'll push you off the circuit there. There's your teammate in your car that I spent all that time working on, and you can't even get it up into the fucking points, you duds. Whoa. Yeah, I'm getting a penalty now. Whoa, and I've been taken out. Well, we're off to a pretty piss poor start. Kind of where we were last year. Not how you want to do that. As I just go rally crossing, get taken into the wall, boof. Is that my former teammate? Well, it's my former team. Worst possible start to our final season. And unfortunately, we have to do it now. Can Danny Rick at least win it for Australia? Come on, Danny Rick. Give the Aussies something to cheer about in our home Grand Prix. Come on, Danny Rick. Come on, Danny Rick. You have done it. Good job. Australia victorious in Australia. Good job. Adrian Newey on the podium. So the reigning world champion gets off to the perfect start. We get off the worst possible start. Lance Stroll looked like he was quite far up there on the grid. So it is what it is. Oh well, that's how we have to roll in Australia, sadly. But we're off to China next, of course, and we'll see how we fare. Could always see if we can get fined from Ferrari. Do you reckon we'll get fined by Ferrari if we keep crashing out? I think I said we might try and do that. You know what? Stuff it. We got nothing to lose. We're not going to, you know, do I want to go out in the World Championship? We've won 2. Let's have some fun. Shall we? Yeah. We won't do one of those. We'll be back in China. We're going to have some fun. We've decided, and it's going to make some interesting viewing as we close out our career mode. F1 2017, like, subscribe, comment here on Casual Gamer Oz. We'll speak to you in China. Good night.